Did you remember the last year G20 conference? The whole nation was preparing for the G20 conference because India was hosting the G20. Similarly, this year Brazil is hosting the G20 conference, and it would be interesting to know that what's in the basket of G20 this year. Hello and welcome to the in news series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about G20 2024, also known as Brazil Summit, and this session is important for your GS2 perspective. Moving towards the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, then we'll have an introduction of G20. Also, we are going to discuss the significance of G20. Then we are going to discuss the what to expect from this year's summit, and then practice question for prelims. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to our Drishti IAS channel. Moving towards the news part. So before moving to the news part, I want to make an important announcement on the behalf of Drishti IAS. As you already know that Drishti IAS has several branches across the country, and Drishti IAS has started its IAS Foundation course, which is prelims cum mains, and this is exclusively for the English medium. So in Karol Bagh, Delhi, the batch will start by the 26th November by 6 p.m. If you want to know more information about such classes, you can call on to the number 8010440440, 8010440440. If you are staying nearby, you can also visit to the offline center. Coming to the news part. So the news is that this year Brazil is hosting the G20 summit, and it is also part of Trioca. And who are the part of G20 Trioca? So India, Brazil and South Africa is a part of Trioca, and this is being held into the November 18 and 19. So this news which we are going to cover up in today's session. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also reached to the Brazil to attend this meeting. Now we'll come to the introduction part of the G20, that what is G20. So G20 Group 20 was formed into 1999, and it is a group of 20 countries, 19 countries and one European Union, and recently Africa Union has also joined the G20 group. So total number of the member is 21, and it is a block, and here multiple countries took the parts. So this is about the G20, and it discussed on the global policies just like the trade, health, climate and other issues. And there were various summits held related to the G20, and its importance has risen when there was a global financial crisis in 2008, and we can see that how G20 bloc was effective during those financial crises. However, there was lots of criticism during pandemic, which is COVID-19, that various experts have condemned this kind of grouping, and they said that they have a large numbers but they were unable to effectively deal with such kind of pandemic situation. So this is the thing, and there is an annual summit to G20 conference, and you can see that the leaders had debuted in 2008 and has evolved into a major forum for discussing the economic issues, as well as they also discuss the global political issues or geopolitical issues, because that's are going a lot in nowadays. So now we'll have members, that who are the member of G20. So 19 countries I have already told you, and we have also European Union and African Union. And what are the countries? So alphabetical wise I am going to name the countries, because in the prelims examination they can ask you that which are the members of and who are the members of G20 groups or not. So Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, United Kingdom and United States. And this year Spain is also invited as a permanent guest. So what these members are showing at, so this is a mixture of developed countries, developing countries, least developed countries, and this time we have also African Union. So we can see that it is not just a group of advanced economies, it is a group of mixed economies who are developing in nature, those who have developed and those who have least developed. So it is a mixture of all those countries. Now we'll come to the significance part of the G20, that what is the significance of G20 we have. So we have G7 group, which is a group of advanced economies, but in G20 we have seen that various other economies are also part of this group. So if we'll talk about the stakes of the G20 and contribution of G20 in the world economy, so its contribution has risen unlike the advanced economy, just like the G7 group. So here we have a graph and we can see that how its contribution has risen. So this is the contribution of the G20 and we can see that there was a significant rise. Sometimes it was low and but still it does not have sharp decline. But if we'll talk about the G7 countries, what we can see that in 1990 their contribution was more than 60%, but right now it has declined a lot and it has reached around 40%. So G7 contribution is decreasing. On the other hand, G20 contribution is increasing. So together the nation of G20 accounts more than 85% of the global economic output, 75% of the global exports and about 80% of the world population. So we can see that how significant G20 is. Now we'll come to the another aspect of it, that what we are going to expect from this G20 summit, which is the Brazil summit. So here we can see that Brazil has prioritized few issues and their issues are hunger, poverty, global governance, climate change, sustainability. So the first point is the combating hunger and socio-economic justice. So according to Brazil declaration, what we have seen that before adoption of any declaration, the Brazil has decided to have a G20 social summit. And in this G20 social summit, they had discussed on various issues related to the poverty, related to the hunger, related to the various kind of discrimination. And there they had discussed around the global governance and sustainability, climate change, socio-economic justice, in which they had try to find out the basic reason behind such kind of things, and they had focused around the global governance, that most marginalized community of the world, just like the black people, the indigenous people, the women and the person who having the disabilities or anybody who are historically disadvantaged in the groups, they have a very little say in the global governance, in the decision making process. So this Brazil has also decided that they are going to focus on this point, that the disadvantaged communities of different countries should have a say in the global governance. Also, they had also highlighted about the poverty and inequality, and there are certain reasons for inequality and poverty. Each country has a different reason. So we need to definitely address this thing. Also, we can see that there was a diverging interest between the developing countries and developed countries in terms of spending, in terms of financing, in terms of fund. So there is a problem in all these countries, that they have this misunderstanding, this miscommunication in terms of geopolitical thing. So we have to remove that and we have to tackle the climate change, because recently we can see that there was an Azerbaijan meeting, and there also we had adopted various key takeaways, that how to focus on the climate finance and how to focus on various things. But we are not able to solve all those things. We have UN agencies, we have other multilateral organizations, but all these agencies and multilateral organizations are unable to combat poverty, inequality, the effects of climate change. So we need to address this. There should be the reform of UN, there should be reform of other multilateral organizations who are working on the economic front, and also we need to sort out our differences on geopolitical tension. Last time we have seen that few countries deferred to comment on the Russia-Ukraine war, the Middle Eastern war, but we have to address such kind of things so that the world should have a peace, world should have economic stability, world should focus on the digital literacy, digital divide and global governance, and the most marginalized should also have a stake on the global governance. So this is the overall an overview of the Brazil summit, that they are going to focus on such lines. Now we'll come to the question round. The question is, what was the primary purpose of G20 when it was the first formed in 1999? To discuss the global health policies, to unite finance ministers and central bankers to address financial crisis, to tackle the climate change and energy issues, to promote cultural exchanges among member nations. This is very easy one, you can answer into the comment section. And you have to also think about the G20, that G20 is not a formal grouping. We do not have any headquarters for this. Its presidency is transferred from one nation to another nation. So still the G20 is very strong in nature and they are cooperating each other. They are trying to fulfill the demands, and they are also trying to fulfill the whatever the decisions they have taken. Yet there are differences, and we can see that various countries are unable to meet the demands and meet the goals they have set. So it is highly advisable for all the developed nation and developing nation and least developed nation that come to a single platform where you have to remove your all differences and decide on one thing and try to find out all those targets, try to fill out all those decisions you have made, and then it will serve the purpose of G20. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.